I can't wait for you guys to see Black Adam. He is the most powerful and unstoppable force on this planet. On this planet.
So that beginning clip of Dwayne Johnson specifically saying on this planet, and then he does a little wink. So the Henry Cavill rumors, you may have heard over the past day that Superman is back. So what I'm going to do today is go over the Black Adam post-credit scene new details, the change of the Superman theme, which is causing a little bit of controversy here, and the reports of possibly, believe it or not, a new Superman movie starring Henry Cavill, with a big thanks and credit to Dwayne Johnson for potentially making it happen. So what I'm going to do is break this video up into 3 parts. Normally I do news roundup videos, but there's so much going on right now with Henry Cavill's Superman that I had to dedicate a whole video to it. So as I said, 3 parts. First, the Black Adam post-credit scene, new details, then some Flash movie Superman stuff, and then of course, lastly, the Superman movie sequel rumor. I do want to put a disclaimer though before anyone says, Bobby, you're full of shit or something. Like, this isn't officially confirmed. I'm just here to talk about what's been setting fire hype to the internet the past day, and a lot of people have been asking me my thoughts on these 3 stories. But what I will say, that whole tease and clip Dwayne Johnson posted to his Instagram today after all of this roar on the internet is more or less him responding to everything that everyone has been screaming about online. So to me, you know, I'm not saying that gives full credibility, but it gives some sort of credibility to the leakers and what we're about to discuss in this video. Take that as you will. I'm not saying 100% credibility, but come on, like, you see this guy? For the longest time, we've heard the rumors of there is going to be a post-credit scene in Black Adam with Superman, Henry Cavill Superman being in it. I've been covering this in news roundup videos for months now, but in the past day, give or take, we've got some new information from leakers, insiders, I don't know what you want to call it, but again, just keep thinking back to on this planet when talking about these users who are saying these things. So not only does Henry Cavill appear in the Black Adam post-credit scene saying something along the lines of, we need to talk Black Adam, which to me, I just want to give my opinion already, does make sense after the series of events there, that someone like Superman, who is in the canon of the DCEU, would want to talk to another kind of Superman level being about his actions, his anti-hero actions and whatnot. But also apparently Superman confronts Black Adam along with Amanda Waller. Now this could of course be that scene that's been teased in recent Black Adam promos, how Black Adam says there's no one on this planet that can stop me, and it just cuts there. Now it's not too unusual for promos, the TV spots, to include little gems like that which don't technically spoil anything but could be a part of another scene. And obviously ever since any fan saw that little promo, he could be replying to Amanda Waller there, and that's when Superman comes around the corner, floats down and says, good thing I'm not from this planet, or Black Adam, we need to talk, something like that. Now I believe the source of this tweet that like kind of exploded comes from the user MyTimeToShineH, and obviously I could say take this with a grain of salt, and I somewhat do, but then again, as I was making this video, or about to make it should I say, that's when Dwayne Johnson, after all of this, came out with that gym video of him saying, you know, on this planet. So I would probably put quite a bit of money now that Superman Henry Cavill is definitely in Black Adam at the very end. But then it kind of splinters off into all of these other things which we're going to get into in this video. But how about some more details about that Black Adam post-credit scene? Apparently, he's also wearing the classic Superman suit, supposedly similar to the one in Man of Steel, just with brighter colors. Some are saying it's kind of like the BVS suit, but basically not the black suit, just kind of like the BVS suit, the classical suit, just maybe a bit more vibrant. And the thing is, this isn't just coming from one insider or leaker, if you will, because you may have heard of Viewer Anonymous. I believe that's the full username on Twitter. Viewer Anon says, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. These aren't my scoops to make, but I think Henry Cavill fans are going to be happy moving forward with DC movies. It seems like the bridge between Warner Brothers and Cavill has been crossed, and it's not just a Black Adam scene. And yes, I have heard you can thank The Rock for this. He was insistent the sides come together. It's also not surprising that amongst Henry Cavill very likely returning in one way or another here, despite all of the news we're talking about, we're still arguing a little bit about one of these things. And to be fair, there is understandable arguments here for why some people might be upset. And that is because in the Henry Cavill Black Adam scene, a Superman theme plays, but it might not be the one that you think. And that's because that tweet says, yes, Henry Cavill is back. He has the classic suit with the Williams score. So apparently in the Black Adam post-credit scene, we are getting the Williams Superman score rather than the Man of Steel Hans Zimmer theme, which again, some people are like, yes, Henry Cavill, but what? What? Some people, interestingly, it is really interesting to read all of these responses because some people love that theme. I love that theme, but they're still acknowledging, yeah, but Henry Cavill's theme, the DCEU Superman theme, which is amazing. I would play it right now if it wouldn't strike me down from the copyright gods. It is so good. It gives me chills right now on the back of my neck thinking of that piano. But apparently we might not get it. So it's weird. In a way, I can see what they're doing there, like a classical kind of Superman theme, but it is alienating some fans. Again, there are like 3 different responses. Some people are down for it. Some people are like, no whatsoever. Like, why are you doing this? And then some people are like, yeah, I would have preferred the Hans Zimmer theme, but I can, it's still Superman themed. So I would love to know what camp you land in. I'm sure you're interested in what camp I land in. And that is, I would want the Hans Zimmer theme. Don't get me wrong. Seeing Henry Cavill there with the Williams theme would be cool. But if I had any box, like if I was an executive and I was ticking off boxes and that was presented before me, I'd be like, oh, yeah, cool idea, but no, I'm going to choose the Hans Zimmer theme. Like that would be the one I keep ticking. So I'm not madly agitated and flaming my keyboard online, but there definitely is a preference of mine and a very big preference. So I can only imagine why some people are getting very upset about it. But let's move on to part 2 now of the Superman rumors, and that is we spoke recently in a news roundup video that Henry Cavill was spotted back in LA with his girlfriend, but also Gal Gadot and Ben Affleck. Now, long story short, some people online were saying, oh, actors in LA. Well, big surprise. Some of these actors live in LA. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything. But to be fair, at the same time, Henry Cavill is very rarely seen in LA. He's based in the UK. So what was this all about? Also, side note, apparently Henry Cavill was seen at some kind of hotel around this time with The Rock, which is just even more interesting when you take into account everything we're discussing today. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is amongst all of this Black Adam post-credit scene stuff, a lot of this Flash movie stuff is coming out because a lot of fans are pointing to this article from The Wrap with the headline as follows, saying Ezra Miller returns to the Flash set for a day of pickup shots, exclusive. Now, what I found interesting about this is it was old news to me, and I say old news, I mean September, around the middle of September, because in that Vanity Fair report on Ezra Miller, long story short there, they did a whole big chronological timeline of all the drama, new accounts from unnamed sources, some named, but at a certain point, they specifically say in this paragraph you're seeing on screen right now, the actor is now said to be working with producers on The Flash to shoot additional scenes. This article came out September 18th. Do you know what I mean? This whole new exclusive article from The Wrap, like, I'm not hanging on The Wrap here, it's just, I've had this on my mind for around 3 weeks now, which is what made the whole thing of Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill coming from the UK, which he doesn't often do, to LA, and Gal Gadot being in LA around the time of when I was thinking, well, Vanity Fair were talking about these additional scenes or whatever pickups they were doing. I never expected anything huge to be shot, but some kind of tiny scene. But now you combine that with the Black Adam post-credit scene, and especially what we're about to get into in the third part, oh man, it really is stirring the little cauldron pot of DCEU rumors. Alright, so part 3, and lastly, and possibly, could be arguably one day, the most exciting. And I say one day because you can't take this definitively right now, but with the momentum of some legitimacy, I would say, behind the leaker stuff in part 1 that we spoke about, and I say some form of legitimacy because of the Instagram post that Dwayne Johnson literally posted not so long ago from making this video, well, it makes you look at these rumors in an interesting way as well, especially with what they say. So this is coming from the Direct with the headline saying Henry Cavill Superman sequel reportedly now in development. So let's get into these details because there are a few quotes talking about what this is all about from said insiders. So skipping past the little introduction bit, they go on to say that now an industry insider is doubling down on this notion, claiming that Cavill is back in a big way as the fan favorite Kryptonian from Kansas. Former Birth Movies Death editor-in-chief and industry insider David Ferrassi revealed on his Marvel Vision podcast that some behind-the-scenes evidence suggests that Warner Brothers is making another Superman movie with Henry Cavill due to Dwayne The Rock Johnson's negotiations. When asked to give more detail, Ferrassi explains that Johnson went hard, full court press on Warner Brothers and made them go to Henry Cavill, stating that the Black Adam actor is facilitating a new deal with Henry Cavill, including a new Superman movie. Now, with that quote there, people were talking about, is that what people were talking about with regards to claiming that Henry Cavill was seen with Dwayne The Rock Johnson in this hotel? I can't remember from the top of my head, but if that was true, I wonder if that's got something to do with this. But this article goes on to say, and I quote, "I got some more information about this. It's not like specific, it's all behind the scenes stuff that I thought was kind of fascinating, which is that the reason why Henry Cavill has returned as Superman in Black Adam is because The Rock demanded it. Like, he went hard, full court press on Warner Brothers and made them go to Henry Cavill, and they had to sign a new deal with Henry Cavill, including saying they were going to develop a new Superman movie. And it was all because The Rock insisted." David's co-host, his brother Devin, joked that Warner Brothers may regret agreeing to The Rock's demand for a new Superman movie if it doesn't do well at the box office, to which Ferrassi admitted that they have now locked themselves into another Henry Cavill Superman by agreeing to Johnson's terms. However, Ferrassi reiterated once more that he's learned that Warner Brothers is working on a Henry Cavill Superman movie. Not only is Henry Cavill going to be in Black Adam, my understanding is they're working on a Henry Cavill Superman movie. Then the article actually, funnily enough, goes on to talk about taking into account View Anonymous's tweet. So that ends the news here. And what is my thoughts on a new Superman movie? Well, let me say this. These rumors actually go back months and months with regards to the Warner Brothers Discovery merger. There was talk and chatter through the grapevine, I should say, in that Warner Brothers Discovery really wanted Cavill back to the Superman role. Now, ages ago, supposedly negotiations between Warner Brothers, the old regime, and now David Zaslav has said, screw that old regime, we've got a new regime now, we want to concentrate on Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, the Trinity, in the next 10 years. So that's something to take into account as well before I digress here, is that, don't forget, Zaslav heavily emphasized Superman. And in the previous months, they've really wanted Henry Cavill. That is a rumor, but it isn't surprising given what Zaslav himself has literally said, especially at the quarterly earnings report for Warner Brothers Discovery. But going back to that previous regime, basically negotiations came to a standstill, and the rumor was at the time that Warner Brothers was offering a certain thing, Henry Cavill kind of, or his agent wanted a certain thing. They couldn't really come to an agreement. It didn't matter anyway. He's got The Witcher, this, that, and the other. He wasn't really turning away the cape. It was still in his closet. He wasn't saying never going to be Superman again. In fact, he wanted to be Superman, but it's just basically the bridge was burned. But now, with the new regime, the new merger, Warner Brothers Discovery, this new Superman movie could very well be an expected thing, at least in terms of only if this is true, or even if it isn't true. I wouldn't and am not remotely surprised that someone, Zaslav, has hired someone to be like, please, Cavill, please, 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 can we talk you into maybe, the next 10 years of the DCEU? We know we're doing a somewhat soft reboot of the Flash movie, and we want to make it a very big success with every new DC installment after that. Obviously, we want Superman to be a part of that. Are you going to join us? But then you take into account how Dwayne Johnson himself has probably, as what is being reported on part 1, part 2, and part 3 here, fought tooth and nail and has insisted to get Superman in, Black Adam, the post-credit scene. And that could have very well developed into the prospect of a sequel movie. I hope it's true. I obviously can't say one way or another. I want to lean on the side of, I can't say again, I know I'm repeating myself, but I can't say it's true. But it wouldn't surprise me one more time that Warner Brothers went to Henry Cavill. I think out of a bit of Zaslav's ambition to do more Superman, but also, yes, most certainly Dwayne The Rock Johnson had something to do with this as well, kind of whispering in their ear, being like, hey guys, come on, like, you want to do Superman, I've got my boy right here, he's coming in Black Adam, you may as well sign a new deal here to somewhat springboard that 10-year plan that you keep going on about. You've got a guy here that fans already love. Make the movie. But let me know your thoughts on all of this. I've been rambling for long enough now. What do you think about the new details? Because it's been kind of old news that Superman could possibly appear in the post-credit scene for Black Adam, but what do you think of the suit, the Williams theme? That could still be changed, to be fair, with maybe potential backlash, and Dwayne Johnson does pay attention to that. So let me know what you think about the Williams theme. What do you think about the Flash movie stuff? That was technically reported way back in September 18th by, well, not way back, 3 weeks ago, by Vanity Fair. And then, of course, the prospect of this Superman movie sequel. Do you think that would add up with everything that we've gone through so far? Would appreciate a thumbs up, a like on this video, guys, just to help support the channel, help get this video out there to more Superman fans so they can lend their thoughts in this video as well. I will keep you updated on anything brand new here, so do consider subscribing for any new DCEU updates. We do reviews, news coverage, breakdowns, all that good stuff. But I'm going to love you and leave you, so thank you so much for watching. Hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see you fellow Kryptonians in the next video. Goodbye.